Florida State's 2026 schedule has been released for another year where we see maybe Mike Norvell and the Seminoles flip things around, but there is a lot to take away from the schedule release this evening. Some interesting games between Florida State and Clemson. Of course, too, the Seminoles opening bye weeks for a few games, including before Alabama and before Clemson. We're going to give our thoughts on that as well, including some overreactions there. Then we're going to talk about some Super Bowl. The Seahawks are going to be facing off against the Patriots, and there are a few former Seminoles on those teams. We've also got Florida State ranked in a top 25 way too early rankings. And as VZ's shaking his head, it's kind of crazy to think about here, but we are going to discuss that as well. We've got some sleeper picks also to make for this Super Bowl coming up. And then we've got some crazy, weird drama between a former Florida State defensive end and a current FSU offensive lineman. Just some weird stuff going on there. But before we get started, with me is Dustin Lewis, our editor-in-chief at NoleGameday.com, and Austin VZ, our lead basketball writer. Gentlemen, good evening. We're here again, and we've got a football schedule release for Florida State for next year.
It's good to be back, and finally getting a look at Florida State's 2026 schedule. Already knew all 12 opponents that Florida State was going to face and knew the dates of the non-conference matchups, but now tonight we officially got the conference game matchups, and boy, is it interesting. 3 Friday night games, a Labor Day matchup against SMU. If we remember how those games went a year ago when Florida State played on Friday night, Virginia and NC State, it got wacky. So now there's even more potential for wackiness in 2026.
Yeah, sorry for making us a little late to the show, everybody. A genuine apology to everyone. I apologize. 4 weekday games is nuts. Like, what are we doing? 1 Monday, 3 Friday games, and I know the ACC just doesn't like Florida State, but this is crazy. 1 Monday game, 2 Friday night games. Both of the ACC Friday night games are on the road, just like they were last year. Good luck, Mike. You'll be gone in October.
Whoa. Overreaction? Is that an overreaction? We count that as an overreaction? I don't know. We'll see. But here we go. Let's go and look at the schedule right now, ladies and gentlemen. And also, too, if you're here with us on YouTube, smack that like button and also consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, too, I need to note, I know we noted on it later on in the episode when we had Malachi Marshall on, but we are on Spotify now. I do see a lot of y'all following us there, but we are back on Spotify for our audio listeners. So make sure you guys go subscribe over there to hear the spear. But let's go and get started. Here we go. August 29th, Florida State facing off at home against New Mexico State on September 7th. This is a big one, gentlemen. Interested to get y'all's thoughts on it too, because this is against SMU, the Mustangs there. This is at home. This is a big-time matchup for Florida State, and it is on a Monday night primetime game for Florida State. Initial thoughts on this one when you saw this come out?
And an old friend is coming back to Tallahassee.
Ooh,
Randy Pittman Jr. will be making his return to Doak as an opponent. But, certainly a tough game, to go from New Mexico State to your conference opener against SMU. Just a week later, and obviously SMU, was in the college football playoff just over a year ago. It has competed pretty respectably in the ACC, since joining the conference, and they've got a veteran quarterback coming back in Kevin Jennings, who has been pretty good these last 2 seasons. Obviously, you would expect him to continue being one of the top quarterbacks in the ACC in the 2026 season, and Florida State, meanwhile, bringing in a lot of players from the high school ranks and the transfer portal. You figure this team is going to need some time to gel and develop chemistry. So, going from New Mexico State to SMU, it will be a tough test for sure.
Yeah, I'm getting Boston College vibes from after the Georgia Tech game. That's how that game is going to feel for me, where there's just no confidence at all going to that game. And SMU's a lot better team than Boston College was 2 years ago. So I wish them the best of luck. That's a tough week 1 game for Florida State, not only being a conference opponent, but one as talented as SMU that has experienced some success there. And now Kevin Jennings is coming back for what should be a really good season for him.
Yeah, he's well experienced. They went 9-4 last year, reached an ACC championship prior as well in the prior year, but that's a talented team, man, and they've got a good head coach as well. But let's keep moving on here. Florida State is going to have a bye week after that, and then the big one is at Alabama. This is one we kept a close eye on to seeing what the ACC was going to do in favor for the Seminoles here.
Yeah,
you do have you get a weird amount of days before you do go face off against Alabama, but you are on the road in that game, as we all know, in Tuscaloosa, and then the next week you face off against Central Arkansas. So I mean, you got SMU, you got Alabama, and back-to-back games. It's not easy to begin this season at all for Florida State, and Alabama is going to have a new quarterback. Ty Simpson is going to be gone, but they do feel confident in their younger quarterback with the Crimson Tide. But not an easy start for Florida State to begin this 2026 season for Mike Norvell.
Not at all, but I mean, the bye week is pretty well timed. So, I mean, you'll have 2 full weeks of preparation there for Alabama before, and then facing Central Arkansas after that. So, I mean, I think you obviously Florida State's, they're going to dedicate a lot into this game to try and defeat the Crimson Tide for a second year. Alabama looking for some revenge, and it hasn't been all smooth waters for Kalen DeBoer during those first 2 seasons in Tuscaloosa, and he can't afford to drop another game to Florida State, especially in the fashion that the Seminoles defeated Alabama last year.
Yeah, and Florida State doesn't get the benefit of this being a week 0, week 1 game where they can come in and catch their opponent off guard a little bit, because Alabama wasn't ready for the Micaiah Dancy jet sweeps and the wheel route, and I guess Squirrel White catching his 1 pass of the year. They didn't know to be prepared for that, and they're going to have 2 weeks of film plus their own schedule to be ready for that game. Yes, Gus Malzahn's going to save stuff for Alabama, he always does, but they're going to have a much better sense of what to expect. And obviously you're going on the road to Tuscaloosa. That's never easy.
Now, does Alabama face off again? Who they face off against before? Is that Kentucky? Yeah, okay, so it is Kentucky, and that is not ever an easy battle between those teams.
It's a road game, too.
A road game at Kentucky for Alabama. So that's something very much worth noting with the schedule, too. And one thing I think about for Mike is you go back to 2024, and Florida State goes to Dublin. They lose to Georgia Tech, and then Boston College, and then the last big hammer against Memphis. And that team just gave up, and that was all it wrote. Here, I mean, if you don't start off, I think it's worrisome. I'd say Florida State doesn't get that win against SMU. I think if things don't go in their direction in Tuscaloosa against Alabama, it just isn't going to be a pretty experience. And that's something that Mike and this team and this coaching staff has to do a better job of. Hey, if you lose a game, you lose 2 games, the season just can't be over for you. But that's really, 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 really hard to do. It's something we've never really seen at all. Certainly not at Florida State, but for any coach to do after the last 2 seasons that have been failures for you, to try to rejuvenate a team, and it hasn't been successful under Mike Norvell. And once these teams lose and their consecutive losses, Mike Norvell has not done a good job of being able to say, this season, we still have a long season ahead. We have to go out and win these games. That just has been always a struggle for Mike these last 2 years.
Are you saying that they struggle to respond?
Well, good Lord.
There it is. You could say that. You very well could say that. Well, moving on here. Now, he is going to face his alumni. Will he?
No.
Will he face off? What? Will he be coaching for Florida State against?
He'll still be coaching by then.
Okay.
By the 4th game,
unless they lose to New Mexico State.
Yeah,
then,
unless it's not a pretty match. It's not a pretty game against New Mexico State. But yeah, he is going to face against his alma mater and Central Arkansas on September 26th. Now on October 3rd, it is Virginia. Trying to think, Chandler Morris is gone.
Yeah, Chandler Morris is gone. They got
Missouri
Eli
transfer.
Yeah, they got Bo Perbila from Missouri, who was and then they got Eli Holstein from Pitt, who was also And so we'll see how that quarterback battle works out for them. None of them are neither of them are as proven as Chandler Morris was, especially entering what felt like his 8th season of college football last year. But they've already done it once, this massive turnaround under Tony Elliott. Can they do it again, or are they going to fall back down to Virginia standards of football, which is like 5-7, which I think that's kind of what's going to happen for them this year.
We'll have to see how that quarterback battle goes, because obviously Chandler Morris was one of the more efficient quarterbacks in the conference a season ago. So, it remains to be seen if the two guys that they brought in can rise to that level of consistency from week to week.
And then the Seminoles are going to face off against Louisville Friday night. Isn't it just so much fun to have some Friday night games? I
don't understand how we get 2 road Friday night games in the conference this year, and then we get it again for 2026. Can we not get one of these at home?
ACC is going to put their big ratings teams out there and do that. Miami's got a handful of them too. They got a lot, as well as Florida State. They're going to get those ratings up, and it works. And we'll talk about it too after the end of this discussion. But I mean, it helps for Florida State in the revenue sharing.
I get it. Like, I get the primetime slot, but why can't Florida State get at least one of these at home? 4 straight road games in the conference on Friday nights. That's crazy.
It's tough. Ain't gonna be easy.
At least they get the Black Friday game.
Yeah, but like, that's set in stone. That's not set by the ACC. That's set by, I imagine that's set by the Florida State and Florida administrations. Plus, I'm sure ESPN says, hey, here's a little extra for being on Friday night.
Yeah, but this one's Louisville. They're looking for a new quarterback as well, but went 9-4 this prior season.
And Lawayne
McCoy, revenge game for him. Revenge game. It's a good pickup there for the Cardinals as well. But you can imagine that's probably going to be one player that, I got to hope Tony White and that defense can take care of business there, because, it just seems like these storylines just seem to wreck in FSU's not favor. But yeah, that's a Friday night game for the Seminoles. And then your big rivalry game will be against Miami on October 17th. They're going to be looking for a new quarterback, as well as Carson Beck is off to the league. And it's looking like it's going to be Darion Mensah. They're trying very hard to grab the Duke transfer quarterback. They're doing a lot. They've got a lot of legal stuff that they got to go through. But if I had to think, Miami will win this battle somehow, some way.
I don't know. A Duke lawyer battle versus Miami lawyer battle is.
We're going to see who's better. They're both 2 good law schools. We're about to find out.
That matchup in the court would be better than anything they would put on the court or the football field. So it should be entertaining.
Wow, that team did just go to national championship.
No, but I'm saying like the battle between the two is going to be better than.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it'll be a much more closely contested contest in the courtroom.
Yeah, but this one's down there at the Hard Rock for Florida State, Miami. Early thoughts on this one, gentlemen? A lot of pieces leaving for Miami. A lot of vets. A lot of guys are heading to the league. Those trenches for Miami were not fun for Florida State to deal with this last year, nor anybody, certainly in the college football playoff. Even for Indiana and that national championship. So a lot of pieces leaving, including their quarterback. But if they don't get Mensah, things don't go work out in their favor there, then they've got an issue to figure out and fix at QB.
They're replacing a ton of talent for sure. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's going to be hard to find guys to step into the shoes of Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor and some of those guys that they're losing along the offensive line as well. Even if they are able to figure out the quarterback problem and get Mensah over to campus, they still have Malachi Toney on the roster. Obviously, that kid is immensely talented, and they are going to have some guys coming back who were part of this run to the college football playoff national championship, are going to have some experience there and a chip on their shoulder, obviously. So we'll see how it works out for them. Miami has heavily invested in the transfer portal and in the high school ranks, and it's starting to pay off for them. So we'll see if they have enough in the tank behind the guys they're losing.
Let's just say I'm not very optimistic, and I'll leave it at that.
For Miami or for Florida State?
Florida State.
Kate Klubnik's gone here, and I was searching that just now because Florida State is going to have a bye week before they face off against the Clemson Tigers. This will be at home, and it will be on Halloween night. Dustin, what are you going to wear to the press box for that?
A gray T-shirt.
So you're gonna just dress up as
black T-shirt.
Nice. Can you switch it up and go like white?
Nah, white doesn't. I'm too pale.
Yeah, it just might all look together there.
Doesn't mesh.
Yeah.
You can wear a white T-shirt and it goes a jar of mayo.
There you go. Yeah, give me a jar of mayo. How about that? Just put Duke's on it. You do like the Duke's Mayo Bowl, so maybe you can just ask for them to send you a T-shirt, and you just wear that, and you'll just be a jar of mayo. But anyways, Florida State does play on Halloween night. That will be a fun one inside Doak Campbell Stadium, barring that Florida State is having a better season than the last two. But the Tigers went 7-6 last year. They're looking for a new quarterback. There's some question marks there now. Dabo he's had a busy offseason. So first off, it's been very busy because he's actually been exploring into the transfer portal a little bit more. But more importantly, though, him and Ole Miss have been absolutely going at it with about an 8-minute rant that he went on about one of his linebackers getting heavily pursued through NIL and money. And he called them out. But early thoughts on this one, guys. Doak Campbell Stadium, Halloween night. Florida State Clemson. Sounds about right.
That rhymed.
I'm just hitting it right now, man.
I love how that's your takeaway.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. I imagine Christopher Fassina is going to be the incumbent starter there for Clemson. He even got some playing time this year, while Cade Klubnik was going through Cade Klubnik things. You have to imagine that they have all the confidence in the world in him. He's former top 100 recruit, maybe not the 5 stars that they're used to getting, but he's still plenty talented. And Clemson actually is using the transfer portal this year. They're actually starting to fill some of those holes that had opened up from guys departing. A lot of people missed the boat on Clemson last year, myself included. I thought they were going to win a national championship, and they went like 6-6. I'm not going to make that mistake again, but they're still the more talented team.
Yeah, they landed some real talent out of the transfer portal. I mean, I really like their defensive backfield coming into the 2026 season, even, with some of the pieces that they're losing on both sides of the ball. And obviously going to have some guys drafted pretty highly whenever April rolls around. But I mean, Logan, I'm on Dabo's side. They Clemson, I can't remember the dude's name, but they landed the linebacker from Cal. He enrolled at Clemson. He's on campus going through classes. And at least according to what Dabo said, he's getting texted by the Ole Miss head coach while he's in class at Clemson, basically saying like, hey, how much we got to pay you to leave Clemson and come on over here? And hey, I mean, it worked for Ole Miss, but.
And just think, this wouldn't have happened if Chris Jones didn't back off his commitment from Ole Miss to go to Florida State.
Oh, man. Yeah, Florida State. Pulled a sneaky one on Clemson.
Yeah. Sorry, Dabo. Mike's one big win here against the Tigers.
But that's just crazy.
2023.
Crazy the age we live in.
Dude, it's been nuts. It's wild. I can understand the fans' anger towards all this stuff. I mean, it's just it's a weird college football. It's going to be, this way for this 5-year span that we're in. Hopefully this will get cleaned up. But Dabo Swinney, pretty fun press conference there. And I think a lot of people are on his side. Might not like him, but I think there's a lot of people on his side for that. All right, now here we go. At Boston College on November 7th, the Eagles went 2-10 this last year. They're going to be looking for a new quarterback as well. Wasn't so pretty for Bill O'Brien over there. Tommy Castellanos' former quarterback coach.
What are the chances of both coaches being fired by this game? I think they're high.
Two interim head coaches for that one up there at Boston College.
Pretty decent, but I'm sure Mike Norvell is praying that he makes it to this game. Boston College is one of 3 ACC teams that Mike Norvell has not lost to at Florida State. 3-0 against the Eagles. 2021, 2022, 2023.
Lost in 2020.
Oh, you're right. They lost in 2020.
dang, Mike.
We were just talking.
Never mind. We're down to 2 teams. All right. He hasn't lost to Cal and Virginia Tech, right?
Definitely not Cal. He made it through
Yeah.
and beat Mendoza. That might go down as one of the most historic
Strange
wins for Mike
wins.
Norvell.
Yeah. I was thinking strange, but that works too.
Well, Boston College stat off the table.
Yeah. So
I mean, yeah, because he's lost to Duke, lost to Wake. He's lost to all the bad teams.
That one's gonna be a chilly one too. It's gonna be chilly. It's gonna start getting a little good chilly up there in Boston College. Not too crazy. You're not in, I mean, the next week you do go on a Friday night trip up to Pittsburgh on November 13th. They went 8-5 this last year. Mason Heinschel is coming back for another season for the Panthers. That's a Friday night game, though. And that one, to me, for some reason, just makes me nervous. Florida State.
Should.
For some reason. Not that it should be much of a shock that I'm nervous about FSU road games, because they haven't won one in 2 years. But yeah, guys, I just thought I'd give my analysis there, because you can't really give analysis on schedule releases right now. It's kind of tough. I think some fans kind of forgot that a schedule release was even coming. Like back in the day, man, like we were setting up live streams. We go live an hour before the damn thing started. We'd be like picking out, okay, here we go. Win, loss.
I mean, we can still do that if we want.
Yeah.
Won't be a lot of wins.
Nah, yeah, we'll save that for another episode. Let's save that for another episode, man. I really need to go intricate and just figure out who these teams are facing the week before, who has a bye week before Florida State. Give me a chance here. Let me get some. Let me do some homework, man. Let's save that for another episode. But yeah, how about this game up there at Pitt, gentlemen?
It's I mean, road games are always tough, and especially when you're talking about a back-to-back road game. I think for this one, I think it would have been better for Florida State to go to Pitt first and then go to Boston College, just because
it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Like, if we did it that way, they would get smoked at Pitt and then be bummed out and lose to Boston College the next week. At least this have the chance to win at Boston College.
All right, fair.
Like, I don't think Pitt's that ton of a team. They lost a lot in the portal this offseason. Obviously, we're talking about Raheem Biles, who tried to take every visit imaginable and canceled even more visits than even scheduled. It was crazy. But they do have a talented quarterback coming back, and that's more than Florida State can say.
And also only 6 days of rest before this game, since it's Friday night, which that makes it even tougher. A back-to-back road game on a day less of rest than usual.
Yeah, no, that's not easy. I'm just hoping that maybe a Steelers home game will be that weekend, and then that would make it really attractive to go up there and cover that game.
Don't think that's how that works. They would usually block out that whole weekend. I mean, they could.
They've had games where, I think they had it the year that FSU went up there, and then they did, because I remember our friend Jackie went to a Steelers game, and I was like, damn, I should have done that. But yeah, that is, at least you play on that field. You're the first team to play, that's for sure. So that'll help. You're not playing on a Monday night there, so there's a positive. We can try to take some positives away from that. But that's the Pittsburgh game there for Florida State, and then the Florida State Seminoles will go and face off against NC State. This will be at home, though, for you. 8-5 last year. CJ Bailey will be returning for the Wolfpack. This is at least at home for you, and it's not a weird night. It's not a Friday. It's not a Monday. So there's a positive for you. I'm trying to think optimistically here, gentlemen. So there we go. That's good stuff. But we know what happened last year. Maybe Florida State's going to be looking for some revenge here, guys. They're going to be looking for revenge.
They're looking for a lot of revenge.
There's a lot of revenge happening here in the latter half of the season. This is just the run of revenge outside of Boston College.
Just catch the damn
they didn't play Boston College last year, so they'll be looking for revenge from 2 years ago, too.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. NC State, though. CJ Bailey. What are y'all's thoughts on CJ Bailey?
Talented as heck. But,
good experience.
Yeah.
CJ Bailey, man. What a QB. What a guy. Any analysis on CJ Bailey, Dustin?
Better than Ashton Daniels, I think.
That's not saying much.
I could already tell like what VZ's going to say there. But yeah, that's a home game for you. And then Florida State will have another home game. This one will be against the Florida Gators on a Friday night. Once again, you guys will be able to all watch your rivalry games on Saturday the next day because Florida State will have a night game in Doak, right? Well, I guess it won't. It's not confirmed, really. I guess they could run it up and be a 3:30, 4:30 game. But if maybe both teams are doing well, then you could say, hey, boom, there it is. But Florida's looking for a new quarterback as well. They just went 4-8 this last year.
It's gonna be at 8:45 a.m. on Disney XD.
Ooh, is that even a channel at XD?
It used to be. I don't know if it still is.
But yeah, that's your season finale, your regular season finale. I'm not saying that it's the season finale. It's just a regular season finale. But there it is. And Florida, like I said, is gonna be looking for a new quarterback as well, guys.
They got the Georgia Tech kid. I think Aaron
Philo.
Yeah.
Philo. Okay.
He was the backup over there to Haynes, and then followed Buster Faulkner to Gainesville. So they're hoping he can make a leap this offseason. If not, I mean, not really a ton of proven experience there at quarterback behind him. So that could end up being a question mark.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, starting off on Labor Day weekend against SMU,
it's crazy.
That's not going to be easy. That is not going to be easy. And that will really give a good factor of what this team is about pretty early on. And I'm kind of glad by that because I did not like the back-to-back weak opponents that Florida State had this last year. That did not help them whatsoever, I don't think. And we saw that. But man, I mean, to have SMU, you're going to get a really good test and see where you're at as a team. And you can either build a lot of momentum going into a bye week and getting prepared for Alabama, because that is going to be a really physical game against the Mustangs. They're very well coached. They play hard. But you're going to have to get healthy in that bye week. Either you're rolling with momentum or you just learned a lot from a loss and you hope that you can turn things around when you're going to go on the road in a rowdy environment against a team that is pissed off because they lost. You got mocked all season that you lost to Florida State last year,
Yeah, Rhett Lashley, he'll have those guys ready to go, obviously. And like I said, I mean, I really like what Kevin Jennings brings to the table. Experienced quarterback, not someone who's going to get rattled on the road very often. SMU made the transition to the ACC ahead of that 2024 season. I think they won, what was it, their first 11 games in conference play, something like that. I mean, they've played probably above expectation these past two seasons. And, it's been pretty fun to see the program that they're developing into. And they're starting to get more resources in the NIL game. SMU, they're starting to become a program to be reckoned with week in and week out.
Yeah, they're a good program. I mean, they were in the ACC championship a year ago, made the college football playoff, and fell a little short this year. They got out to a sluggish start before rebound a little bit down the stretch. But when you have Kevin Jennings, they could figure out the rest on the way.
Miami's going to have, I'm just taking away some notes here. Miami's going to have a bye week before Florida State as well. So that's going to go in their favor for sure.
Shocking.
Looking in here, of course, the Friday night, which game out of here is the one that you're most outside of, let's just say, I'm going to take away Miami, Clemson, and Alabama. Miami, Clemson, Alabama. Which one or two concern you the most here? Just looking at the schedule, maybe where it didn't work in your favor. Not, you got to pick one or two.
I can't say everyone.
You can't just say them all. But if you had to pick though on your tier of all of them.
New Mexico State.
No.
No, it's probably Virginia. Because you're at least going to get a barometer in that game of, okay, maybe Florida State has a chance to make a bowl game. Or if they lose that game, you're going, okay, they're going 3-9. Like, that's going to be the barometer for the season more than likely.
Yeah, because then you go at Louisville on a Friday night, and then you're going to face off against the Hurricanes on the road.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've got to stick with SMU just because, let's say this team comes out, defeats New Mexico State in week 0, and then if SMU comes into Tallahassee and blows out Florida State, how are they going to bounce back from there? Because as we've seen, this team, they can't. I don't want to say the word.
Bounce back.
They can't bounce back
Can't
in
use
the
the R
face
word.
of adversity. That's been the problem here these last 2 seasons. And, instead of Virginia, like Austin said, I would also go with that game at Louisville because, at that point, you could have lost to SMU, could have lost to Bama, could have lost to Virginia. And if you lose to Louisville, you're 2-4 at the halfway point of the season. And, once again, this team they don't respond well to the negatives for whatever reason. And I mentioned it earlier, only having 6 days between that game and the Virginia matchup, it's going to be tough for Florida State on a short week. And they just haven't prepared very well for these games that are on the short weeks, as we saw a season ago. I mean, Virginia did whatever they wanted to on that Friday night offensively, and Florida State committed 3 turnovers on offense, but was still able to get it to double overtime. And then the North Carolina State game just felt like everything went wrong in different junctures. Like the offense couldn't get much going. The defense actually played pretty well outside of that one long touchdown by NC State. And then obviously whenever the muffed punt was recovered and then NC State was able to score on that 4th and goal. So
which muff punt? There was 2.
Yeah.
Multiple.
Preparation, it's a proven issue for Florida State for whatever reason.
They're bad on the road, man. They're going to be looking for their first road game win in 2 years.
For whatever reason, as if it's not very easily explainable by bad coaching.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, let's say things aren't going too well for you. Your latter half of the year ain't too great. And I just wonder too, at that October 24th spot where you have your bye week, if there's a potential quarterback change, if things aren't going well with Ashton Daniels. If that is your starting quarterback, I want a quarterback competition. But
only quarterback change?
Well,
I mean, if Florida State's 2-5 at that point, which is not impossible.
Yeah, you'll see that. You see more than a quarterback change, but I personally would like to see, if that is the case, things aren't going too well, then I think you're going to see fans, which they have already done a lot of times throughout these last 2 years. They're very vocal that they want to see a new quarterback out there. I wonder about that October 24th bye week, if that's something where you have it. But then, I mean, at least you have it at home against Clemson. But we'll see if Boston College turns things around. But you're on the road for the next 2 games up north, and it's going to be a little chilly too with BC and Pittsburgh, and then you still have NC State. And then Florida at the end of the year. Like it's not easy. And back in the day, we could say, all right, well, yeah, it's Pittsburgh. All right, NC State is NC State. Florida State should win, but they're weird games. It's Boston College. Florida State should win now. Virginia, okay, take care of business. SMU, but that's just not that case anymore. And the fact that Florida State is not a good road team, it makes things a lot more difficult for where they're at. So
could have left out road.
What would it have been then?
It's not a good team.
No. We'll see. Maybe things will turn around the spring, man. We're going to get all these nuggets from practices and everything. Ashton Daniels, lighten it up. Get ready.
I will say, if there are issues at quarterback and Ashton Daniels is struggling, they better not wait 7 weeks to make a quarterback change.
Wow.
I mean, there was a reason they went with the discount option at quarterback. And I think part of that is if he starts struggling, feel free to pull him and roll with these other options. I think there's been some struggle to do that in the past just because DJU and Tommy were the higher paid options. Got a little bit more leeway this season. And I mean, it's do or die for Mike Norvell and this coaching staff. They've got to do whatever they need to do to get wins on the table, whether that's pulling a quarterback or not.
Yeah, absolute desperation mode, no matter what. But like you said there, Dustin, they didn't spend a whole ton of money on this quarterback. So you should be able to make changes if necessary. And there's been plenty of times with this coaching staff and Mike Norvell where it's been absolutely necessary to do so, and they just won't do it. They won't do it, and they just stick with it. And it's not just the quarterback. They'll keep players out there, too, forever that just aren't producing well for you at all. But that's just been a trend for Mike the last couple of years. But yeah, that is the schedule release right there. We'll have a little bit more further of a deeper dive, most likely next week, to really get a feeling and maybe do some early record projections. Wouldn't that be fun? Now that we do have the roster put in place, also too, we'll do some roster projections we'll go from position by position and name some starters and what it's going to look like for that depth chart too as well. So we've got a handful of things still to go through tonight, though. Let's talk about the Super Bowl, man. How about the NFC and AFC championships real quick? I mean, the AFC one was pretty boring and bland as expected, but that NFC championship game was absolutely awesome. Yeah, it was cinema. Yeah, I mean, just super fun to watch. And, I'm a big fan of Sean McVay, and, of course, having Jared Verse and Braden Fisk, who absolutely had a big game for themselves as well. It just felt like the ACC championship game in 2023 when those guys had to step up, and they sure enough did. As much as they could, they did need some help with that defense and some of their counterparts there. But how about a Super Bowl now? We got the Pats, and then we've got, of course, the Seattle Seahawks.
It was some good football. I mean, I really enjoyed it, and even though there weren't a ton of points in that Patriots Denver game, just the scene with the snow coming down in the second half. I love a good snow game like that,
Yeah.
and then obviously the other one, just high octane. Both teams going back and forth, a bunch of big plays on offense. It's a really fun day of football to kind of send things now to the Super Bowl, between the Patriots and Seahawks, which I think that one should be pretty fun as well. And obviously everyone remembers the last time that Seattle and New England met each other in the Super Bowl and what happened there in the final seconds. So hopefully it's as entertaining as it was back then.
Yeah, Russell Wilson may want to turn off social media the next couple of weeks. I'm super happy for Sam Darnold. Like, I know a lot of Vikings fans are upset. Like, we let this guy go and he goes to Super Bowl. He wasn't going to make a Super Bowl as the Vikings quarterback because that's just the Vikings. That's just how that franchise is. But I'm super happy for him. And no, he was cast off to the side after a bad start with the Jets to his career, which any quarterback gets off to a bad start to their career with the New York Jets. Is backing up with the Carolina Panthers, then backs up with the Rams, or not with the Rams, with the 49ers. Comes to Minnesota, has a great year, turns into a pumpkin in the playoffs, and now he's in the Super Bowl. So I'm super happy for him, honestly. I'm glad he's getting that chance. And it's interesting to see the Patriots in there once again. Back-to-back 4-13 seasons, and now they're in the Super Bowl the next year after the crazy dynasty they had with Tom Brady. Now they got Drake May, who is a lot of fun to watch. He only passed for 83 yards yesterday, but he was running like crazy. So fun to watch.
Yeah, that first down run from him, you just knew he was taking it to the first down marker, man. That was
and if you believe him, that wasn't even called. Like, he did that on a whim, according to him, which is unreal.
Yep, you need those type of quarterbacks, man, in those specific situations when you're trying to reach a Super Bowl, and he sure enough did that. And Vrabel in his first year, going up there and having the immediate success that he's had, going to a team and turning things around, it's impressive.
How do you think the Titans feel? They fired him, and now they're already on their second coach since firing him.
Yeah.
And he's in the Super Bowl in his first year in New England.
The Titans, man, I put them in the same boat as the Browns always. It's just never going to happen. It's just not going to happen for them. And it sucks for them. They give away Derrick Henry, too, and he balls out for the Ravens as well.
And give away A.J. Brown, and he balls out for the Eagles.
Yeah, it's true, yeah. Yep, wins a Super Bowl with them. It's just like, some of those teams, it's not pretty for some of those organizations. But shout out to Cam Akers. He's with the Seattle Seahawks, actually on the active roster too. He was actually elevated the day before that as well. Yeah. And so going to be interesting to see if he's going to be elevated for that Super Bowl matchup, just depending on how healthy that running back room is. I don't know.
Charbonnet tore his ACL. So it's just Kenneth Walker and then whoever they want to have behind him.
Kenneth Walker, man, wow, what a game he had.
Yeah, he was crazy in that game. But I imagine Akers is in there.
Yeah, I think George Halani is the number 2. That's pretty much the role that he served in yesterday during the NFC Championship game. And Akers, I don't believe, saw a touch during the win against LA.
Which is crazy that he's in the Super Bowl for the Seahawks, considering he threw a passing touchdown for the Vikings this year. Just to tell you how this kind of season has been.
And he faced against his former team with the Rams
in
the NFC Championship too as well.
It's been a heck of a ride. He was a free agent for quite some time, and then the New Orleans Saints brought him in for a tryout shortly before training camp, like what they saw, brought him in through training camp. he got cut right there at the end of training camp. And then, like you said, Austin, landing back with the Vikings, I believe his third stint
Yep.
with
For the third straight year.
Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
then the Vikings cut him. Seattle brought him on in November. The Seahawks cut him in December and brought him back to the practice squad. And then, like you said, Logan, elevated him for the conference championship game. So it's been a heck of a ride. And I mean, that's kind of been the story of his career, you know, overcoming those two Achilles injuries. And I mean, now starting to play for a lot of teams across the NFL. You know, was with the Houston Texans last year for a little bit. So he's kind of been all over the place, but now right there with a chance to get his second ring.
Dude, yeah, I know. I was about to say, man, he's going for his second ring. That is so awesome, man. That is awesome because he won in 2022, beating the Bengals in that game. So,
which is crazy that he even played in that game, considering he tore his Achilles 6 months.
I know, right? That. Yeah, absolutely stunning, man. And then 2 injured reserve, but Joshua Farmer, rookie season for him with the Patriots. He's on injured reserve, like I said. He's dealing with a hamstring injury right now, but Patriots win. He gets himself a ring as well as a rookie in the league as a defensive lineman, man. Could that help you in recruiting any? Can that help you a little bit?
I don't know. But we'll see. Farmer might be able to play in this game. You know, had to miss New England's final 4 games of the regular season. Wasn't able to suit up for any of the postseason games, but the Patriots recently activated his 21-day window, so he has been able to return to practice, just hadn't made enough progress before the game against Denver. Obviously has a week off to prepare for the Super Bowl. So there's a possibility that he's back in the lineup to face Seattle. We'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. That'd be great. That'd be great. Hamstrings are irritating, man. I deal with it down here in Tampa all the time with Mike Evans. They are irritating. But he's younger and he should be able to heal faster too. So good luck to him. Do y'all want to make some picks real quick while we're talking about the Super Bowl with our friends over there at Sleeper? I'm sure we'll make a couple of these before we get to the Super Bowl window. But shout out to our friends at Sleeper. If you guys use our code NOLES, you will be able to get a 100% match up to $100. Noles, NOLES. Use that code. It's down in our description on YouTube. We got some early looks at the Super Bowl here. And, man, if I go to Rush Yards right now, I want to go to fucking Kenneth Walker. Holy moly. 73.5. My goodness gracious.
But also, what's Ramondre at?
Oh, yeah. Where's that man at? Lay it down.
51. Oh. Against Seattle's front, I don't know.
Defenses, really good defenses. That's the issue here. But he wouldn't let us down on a Super Bowl, right? He wouldn't do that.
Do we shave him down to 40 to be safe?
Let's see what his 40 is. Let's see exactly. It's 1.33. That's not bad. I've seen worse.
Yeah, that's how we take that.
It's hot right now. Yeah, Ramondre, we got to keep him on here no matter what on the ticket. What are we feeling here? What about pass yards? What is Drake May and Sam Darnold at? 228, 224.
Is it crazy? I kind of like the less on May. Because Seattle's defense can be something serious.
Who was that rookie, number 3 for Seattle? Where'd he go to school?
Manwari, South Carolina.
Carolina. Dude, what a season for him. And
what a game. He was
everywhere.
All over the place in that game.
Yeah. He was dominating. So here, hold on. I really like this right here and just shaving him to 200 for Sam Darnold.
I'm good.
It doesn't seem too bad for at least Darnold.
Because you know JSN's going to get 100 of that.
Yeah, exactly. Y'all like Tom Brady's broadcasting too? I feel like he's gotten better in the last year.
He's gotten a lot better this year.
Mm-hmm.
He actually sounds like a human.
Yeah, he is a human now, which is good. It's kind of relatable. You can relate to him, even though he's the best of all time. You're like, oh, okay, now I can understand this, what you're going through, and giving us like the JSN comment about running his route, how his body moves with it, like those kind of things. Like, dang, I feel smarter fucking listening to that. Drake May, so you're thinking under for him at 224.5.
I think just taking the less.
Let me look at the game logs here. What did he do? 224.
I feel like Seattle gives up some passing yards.
Yeah, but they've got a good secondary. They've got a good defense in general. Like, you can't really count them going against the Rams because the Rams offense is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Cooper Kupp only needs 3 receptions.
I kind of like that.
People are going up to 4 on him right now.
I kind of like the
Feels
3.
like yeah, and it's 1.5 times. I feel like that's pretty good. What else is in here? DeMarcus Lawrence a sack. Yeah, he left the Cowboys and was like, I want to get a ring. Well, congratulations, you have a chance to do so. Wait, so what's JSN? So people are putting so just a 1.04 times just to get 50 receiving. Look, you don't even get a chance at the 70. It just goes from 50 to 100 receiving yards.
His line is 92.5. That's
dude.
Nuts. And he's gonna get more. Like,
I think so. Do we just lay it down at 93.5 on him?
Let's do it.
1.77. I mean, we're gonna put down a multiple of these.
Let's
by the time we get close to the Super Bowl, and I think we have a 15% boost. Oh my goodness gracious. Heck yeah. So these are our picks here on Sleeper. Shout out to our friends over there. You guys use our code Knowles, NOLES, get a 100% match up to $100. We're putting down $8 for 34. We'll make another pick as well before the Super Bowl comes. But shout out to our friends over there at Sleeper. Always great to work with them as well. Gentlemen, now this was some crazy stuff. This is from USA Today, and Florida State was placed in the top 25 of their way too early rankings. So where were they ranked? Florida State was put at number 22, not number 25, not an honorable mention, but number 22. So I'll go through the rankings just real quick. And Texas has been getting a lot of love this offseason with their moves to the transfer portal. But it goes Texas 1, Ohio State 2, Georgia 3, Indiana 4, Notre Dame 5, Oklahoma 6, Texas Tech 7, Texas A&M 8, Oregon 9, Miami down there at 10, Alabama at number 11, USC at 12, BYU at 13, Michigan 14, LSU at 15. We got SMU at 16, Penn State at 17, Utah 18, Clemson 19, Ole Miss 20, Iowa 21, FSU, as I said, at number 22, and then Houston 23, Tennessee 24, and Boise State 25. You guys are shaking your heads. What are you talking about here? Come on. It's just way too early rankings. Don't worry about it too much. Don't worry about it.
I don't even know if Florida State's a top 22 team in the ACC. Like, there's only 16 teams, or 15 because Notre Dame's not in it. Or
I think of like
17. No chance. There's just no chance.
I think of like the Drewski meme, and he's like, me?
Yeah,
Me?
no, exactly.
Too early to top 25 rankings. Yeah, a little odd there, I would say. I don't know what now. Dustin, did you write that piece or was that Tommy?
I didn't do it.
Okay, then it was Tommy then last week. I'm gonna go look and see what the writer had to say and why that was the case for FSU. But Dustin, your early reactions to that? Top 25 team, baby. Let's get it.
Yeah. It just tells me that he watched Florida State play Alabama and then probably didn't watch another game the rest of the season.
That was it.
I mean, but if that was the case, he'd have Florida State like 8.
Well, he looked at the record, so
yeah,
he's hedging his bet.
Yeah, he's like, maybe someone got hurt. Maybe that's what he's thinking.
Mm-hmm. Dude, what is going on with StreamYard? What is happening? Why can't I just keep something on the screen? I'm going to lose my mind. Anyways, this is what this writer had to say for putting in number 22. He said, here's another gamble on a fallen ACC power. FSU hasn't been the same since 2023, but will rebound next season. Thanks in part to transfers such as running back Trey Wisner from Texas, offensive tackle Xavier Chaplin from Auburn, and former Auburn quarterback Ashton Daniels, and linebackers Chris Jones and Mekhi Bear from North Carolina. Another factor to consider is how the Seminoles will benefit from another offseason under offensive coordinator Gus Malzahn, defensive coordinator Tony White, and offensive line coach Herb Hand. What are we missing here? What?
He's
Let
putting
me
a
go to the
lot of
writer real
stock.
quick.
He is putting a lot of stock in Ashton Daniels.
And Gus Malzahn. This is from
I didn't see
two. We
him.
can't just. It's not just two. It's not just one person. It's Eric Smith and Paul Myberg. So it's double trouble on here. So two people.
Well,
think this
I'm
is
imagining
COVID.
only one of them
Yeah.
worked on each snippet. So,
But they
I
allowed for this to happen.
I
They
don't.
did.
I don't know how.
they did.
Like-
And
Yeah, they had to allow for their name to be on it. Like, imagine you, Dustin and Visa, you wrote this together, and you have Florida State. That's number 22 on here.
They must.
They're
Not,
banking on Gus Malzahn and Tony White to have a big flip, including your offensive line coach with
The
Herb Hand.
the defensive line is worse. The offensive line is
a lot
worse.
worse.
Like, the quarterback is worse, and that's saying something. Wide receiver is a pull.
You just need one. You just need
like
one.
that's a pull. Tight end is way worse. Like, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah, a lot of people I'm hearing like feel really confident on this offense, and we'll discuss a little bit further on this when we look at the depth chart a little bit more and give our projections and go position by position. But I'm just not fully there yet. I'm just not there yet, and I'm questioning still once again this backfield if we're going to see another heavy. Signs are leaning towards we're going to see another heavy rotation of a running back room, which I am completely against and tired of it. Man, like you said, tight end is thin, and you're banking on Landon Thomas to stay healthy, and that has not been the thing for him once he reached the college level. And I don't think this offensive line is as close as people are trying to think it is to last year's. That was a good unit, and it's going to take for Herb Hand to develop and be able to see some guys make improvements. It's just not as well experienced as last year's. Now there's guys in that have played football, absolutely, but I don't think the talent level is the same as this class that's coming in at the offensive line.
I agree. I think it's gonna be a solid line, but it's not like Micah Pettis, and I just don't think it's as good of I just don't think it's as good of a unit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they had elite size last year up front on that offensive line for the most part. I don't think they have as much of that this year. I mean, there are a couple guys, obviously, like Xavier Chaplin, who bring massive frames to the table. And another thing, I mean, I mentioned it on previous episodes. I don't know that there's enough previous Power 4 experience coming in where I feel as comfortable with what Florida State had a season ago. You know, basically everyone on the starting five for FSU in 2025 had either played in the SEC, played in the ACC, or played for Herb Hand before. So, and you don't really have as much of that coming in 2026. So it's certainly a little bit more of an unknown than it was.
Mm-hmm. VZ, I'm going to lead this one to you right here. I'm going to give you this right here. James Williams. You see this? Have you seen this yet on James Williams, your former pass rusher?
Oh, I've seen it.
So for some context for our listeners and for our viewers here, you know, James Williams, he's gone. That was quick as all get out. Sayonara. Andre Otto, he's been very active on social media, specifically on Instagram. And he's been posting some videos of him training out there at the football facility and everything and whatnot. And he posted about his loyalty to Florida State. You know, he's not leaving. He's coming back for another year, yada, yada, yada. So with this, on the post down below in the comments, James Williams comments and says, "Are you sure?" ? And if you want to click on the view 40 more replies, you can only imagine what those are.
Probably a lot,
fans.
And probably a lot more than 40 by now.
Yeah, definitely by now, as a few people as I have put out there on Twitter. VZ, go ahead. I mean, I've already had enough of. I said enough about James Williams throughout the season. It was practically after about week 4. I kind of knew what I was working with there with James Williams.
I never want to say the words or names James Williams in any capacity next to each other ever again. Like, I don't care if it's LeBron James and then Williams something. I never want to say James and Williams next to each other again.
Uh-huh.
Like, he can't be trolling when he was as awful as he was.
Yeah, I was going to say that just can't work, right? You can't do all that. You can't do all that and like make fun of Florida State and the players and question their loyalty and everything. Like, that just can't be the case, man. I don't know. It was just, I don't know. I wonder what Andre Otto thought about that too, as well. I mean, dude's just trying to get out there, put in some work. It's probably what James Williams should have been doing when he first arrived at FSU, because sure enough, wasn't in the weight room. I'll go and tell you that right now. I think Dustin could have put out a couple reps, man. I think he could have put out a couple reps with some blocks at left tackle, man. I mean, I think I was texting you guys at the Alabama game. I was in the stands. I was with your family, Dustin. I'm pretty sure I sent in the Discord, I was like, yo, James Williams, I don't know, man. It's a lot slower than I thought. There ain't no Max Crosby out there, man. Ain't happening.
Just not a good look. And I mean, even when I think Amari Williams announced his decision to transfer, and you had the stuff going on with the Desires, you know, James Williams was doing a lot of talking and commenting about it. And, you know, you've seen him go back and forth with a bunch of Florida State fans across multiple social media platforms at this point. It's just not a good look. And the thing is, when you respond to Florida State Twitter and they know you're looking at everything and they know that you're getting triggered by it, they're just going to come at you even harder. So it really feels like, at least online, the Florida State fan base has declared war on James Williams, and right now he's losing the battle.
Yeah, not looking too great. Not some good looks there for him. But yeah, that's going to do it for us. That was the 2026 schedule release. What?
Wait, did y'all see Tommy Castellanos's measurements at his All-Star game?
No, what were they?
5'9".
What was his? What did FSU's roster have him at?
I want to say 5'11".
I think they had him at 5'11" or 6 foot.
Not 6 foot.
Yeah, he measured 5'9" and 1/8 inch, 197 pounds.
Shouldn't be a surprise.
I mean, no, yeah, they had him at 5'11", 201 pounds.
Oh man,
on the roster there.
Oh man,
yeah, no, I did see though he's on a yacht right now tonight, so I can't say no about that. He's on a yacht, enjoying life right now. So, but yeah, that's gonna do it for us, everybody. That is going to be our 2026 instant reaction to the schedule release for Florida State. We'll do a deeper dive most likely next week. We're also going to do some roster projections too, now that Florida State's roster is practically solidified there. And we'll go unit by unit and see what that depth chart is going to look like moving forward for Florida State. As you know, we've got a ways to go throughout this dead portion of the offseason, but we're going to have tons of content coming your way over there at NoleGameday.com and here on YouTube. If you're still with us, I know it's a late night, but we really do appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Smack that like button down below. It just helps to go out to more FSU fans. And also, too, consider hitting that subscribe button as well. It definitely helps us, and it goes a long way. And like I said, we appreciate y'all hanging out here with us on a late evening. We will see you guys on the next episode of Hear the Spear. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's week, and we'll talk to you guys soon. We're out of here. Peace.